Okay, peace. This is the discussion on Sheps, Dark Decease, cards within a relationship reading. What does it mean when you see the Sheps card in your relationship reading? What does it mean when you see the Dark Decease card in your relationship reading? Okay. Alright, well, Sheps is, the first thing that Sheps is ancestors. Right? Sheps, first thing you should go to your mind is this is your ancestry. We're talking about your, historical facts, right? What is you and your lineage, right? Your ancestral tree, okay? Right? Now, think about that. We could be, seeing a Sheps reading, right? A Sheps reading is going to speak to the past. And it could be speaking about, especially when you see something like a Sheps with Geb, right? We're talking about past health or family health, right? Or, what's going on in your DNA, right? What is it that your family is dealing with that is focus of this here reading, right? So that Sheps could be talking about going to the past, right? For understanding, right? Going, looking at the past in various areas, right? Right, so we said ancestry, right? Yeah, your ancestors could be or should be a major focus within a relationship. You two should be pouring libation, right? Y'all should be having conversations with your ancestor. Y'all should be focused on, that side of life, right? Focused on your ancestral traditions, right? Together as part of the relationship, as fuel for the relationship. As some of the stuff that's going to make the thing, succeed, right, is going to be the past, the traditions, your ancestral traditions, right? So where you are not there, get there, right? Say you just, you're American folk, you don't know too much about that ancient indigenous or that ancient African or that ancient, Kemetic or, whatever it may be, you're Hebrew, whatever it may be. Right, I'm talking to a bunch of different people. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your tradition may be, you need to, deal with it for this relationship. That's what the reading is saying. The reading is saying that in order to have success with this particular individual, you have to tap into your ancestry in some way, right? So, focus on your traditions, you know what I'm saying? Learn something about your history, learn something about your past, such that you can go there now, right? Find out what, indigenous tribe you were part of, you know what I mean? And where you can't do it, through, physical, right? Or through records, right? Because, a lot of that stuff can be tracked in records, but you can get that stuff in a spiritual way as well, right? Meditate to Sheps, right? Chant. There's a whole Sheps chant, right? I got a video where I'm chanting the Sheps chant. Right? You chant that chant, and you will begin to meet your ancestors. They will come to you and tell you their names. They will come to you and show you your histories. Okay? They will show you the stuff that you was doing 2,000 years ago in your last life or your previous lives, This is what you do when you tap into this level of spirituality, right? You go to the ancestors, they're going to come to you, okay? And that's what this is saying in your relationship reading. This is saying go to the ancestors. There's, likely an ancestor that will help you where there is issues in your relationship, where there is disagreements, things like that, right? You have to be conscientious enough, right, to, see yourself having a conflict and then go to the Sheps and say, hey, Sheps, I need y'all to break this down, help us work this out, you know what I mean? And, whatever it is, do what you do, right? And, talk to your Sheps, right? Make some offerings, show the Sheps that you know that they're there, right? That's all the Sheps ever really want. It's some acknowledgement, because they there. They got to be there with your ass. You know what I'm saying? We got Sheps that are our guides, our guardian angels, our spirit guides. These are, some of our, relatives of the distant past, These are our, our old cronies that we used to hang out in lifetimes ago. They sit with us and they make sure that we don't go too far off. You know what I'm saying? These are our Sheps. You want to honor them folk. You know what I mean? Honor them. Because they know more about this thing than you do. Because they on the inner. They can see what you can't, right? You tune into them to get a clue of what's going on, right? Hey, that largely, lots of times, psychicism is that, right? If you're the type of person that can, go to sleep and, have prophetic dreams and stuff like that, lots of times you're working with your Sheps. Lots of times your Sheps are, out there in the world, they checking out stuff for you and they bringing it back. Sometimes it's, you have direct perception, but sometimes it's the Sheps. So you want to keep a good relationship with the Sheps. If you want your psychicism to increase, right? Your ability to know stuff that you can't really know, right? Tap into the Sheps. All right, but definitely, all right, trying to hone it back in on a relationship. You know what I mean? If you see that reading, this is what's going to be applicable to your relationship, right? You and your mate are going to be talking about your traditions. Y'all going to be, dressing the part. Y'all going to be involving, your family into a circumstance of traditional, understanding, right? A traditional way, right? It ain't always about, like people say, oh, you want to live in the past. No, it's not living in the past. It's understanding the past so that you can understand who you are and where you're going forward. That's what it's all about. You have to acknowledge. See, where we don't acknowledge the past, we are lost. Just look at our race, right? Many of us are worshiping or looking across the pond for our ancestors. And some of them are there, right? Some of them are there. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to look across the pond for the ancestors. But I'm also saying, get the memo. We got ancestors right here, right? And we need to be looking right here for our ancestors. Okay, that's another thing. But, all right. Now, the dark deceased reading. All right, you see a dark deceased on your relationship? Whoa. On your relationship reading? Well, I mean, that's not much discussion for me. I see a dark deceased. That's just going to be an area I'm not going to go for. I'm good. Nope. Likely I won't have, put the time into this thing already because I'm going to do the reading at the very beginning, right? As soon as I feel myself liking this person over here, how we going to fare in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? And if that dark deceased comes up, well, I'm going to know that I'm not going to look to that for a relationship because it's going to be pain. That's pain right there. That's going to be either some negative entity, that's attached to one or both of us and, causing problems, right? That's going to be negative mindset of one or both of us. That, it's going to be certain obsessions, right? Obsession level stuff, right? It's going to be, that's going to be pain, right? That dark deceased thing is going to be pain. We're not going to do that. Yeah. So I would say you see that Sheps reading, right? Make sure it's with a relationship significator, right? And make sure it's, something that you, that appeals to your offset, right? Because that's part of it. Yeah, like we're not holy in our Oser, in our highest self, right? So we gotta respect some of those things that we like and dislike, because you could say, I ain't about likes and dislikes, and get somebody that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? And then years later, you're like, dang, I don't even like this person. You know what I mean? Now you gotta deal with the person, right? So. Yeah, so that's stuff. All right. But that's about it. Pretty much. You want to deal with your traditions, right? You want to look at your histories, right? When you see the Sheps card, right? You want to, be associated with your ancestry, your ancestors, right? You want to bring them into the game, bring them into the relationship. Allow them to work on your behalf, right? Yeah. All right, so that's going to be it, okay? Oh wow, that's everything. I think I went through the whole tree and I didn't even realize it. Yeah, so that's that. Enjoy the vibration of this summertime, right? You know what I'm saying? We got, stuff coming up. I think we got some E King stuff. I'm trying to get into this E King. You know what I mean? I wanted to get my hands on the E King Praxis, but that book really just escapes me. You know what I mean? Very hard getting a grasp on this E King Praxis, but when I do, we're gonna be doing some E King classes, and yeah, man, we're gonna add to this thing. Other than that, keep checking out my daily readings, right? We doing daily readings, right? We going like minute tarot readings, minute Metu Neter readings. I'm stretching it out, but yeah, you want to check that. You know what I'm saying? That's it's not going to be the most thorough interpretation, but it will help you in various areas, right? If you're part of my collective, then that stuff will help. All right. Yeah, and other than that, we're going to say peace and love, right? And we see y'all next time. Peace.